out to the Fellowship Center right now because I think like half of the church is still out there having coffee and enjoying that. It's all right, though. We do that well here at this church. My name is Ruth Moore, and I am the connector here at First United Methodist Church. If you need information on Bible studies or activities that we've got going on, a ministry idea, come and talk to me. I'd love to hear your ideas. There are many announcements in the bulletin. Please read them at your leisure. And right now, take just a moment, log on to Facebook, tell the world that you are here at First United Methodist in worship, and then of course be sure and turn off your phone. The yellow sheets are our way of connecting with you. Fill them out as much as you'd like. Place them in the offering plate when that comes. And those yellow sheets are also a good place to make sure that you write your prayer requests or pastoral visit requests. The annual Safe House concert benefit concert will be held here right in the sanctuary at 4 p.m. today. Tonight, Blast happens. Blast is our young persons, our little kids youth group. That happens tonight at 5 p.m. And also be sure and check out the Illinois Marathon info table. We are getting a group together to serve as course guards for the marathon on April 25th. Now, I have a call to ministry here today, and let me see if I can do this as well as Julia did downstairs just an hour ago. We have an opportunity for ministry, and this is beyond so much one of our most important ministries. We need to make sure that we are welcoming and accessible on Sunday mornings. As a part of our lives now in 2020, we know that we can't open doors and leave them unattended. So now we have the opportunity for you guys to come and watch those doors and welcome people as they come in. So we are in need of greeters to watch open doors between 9 and 10 a.m. We are trying to be welcoming and still maintain a safe environment for our worship. Please see me after worship. I'm going to be standing right down there at that door, shaking your hand and telling you hello. But I'll take your name and get you on that list and start scheduling. I have figured out that if we get 20 people, just 20 people to do this, you'll only be called on twice in 3 months. But everyone should be excited about this possibility. This is what we do before anything else. We've got to be welcoming, and we've got to have people there at the doors to help people get into our worship. Kind of. It was okay. Now, but at this time, we're going to ask you to do that hospitality thing. Be friendly, be welcoming, meet someone you haven't met yet, and let's meet each other.
Tell me your name.
Love the conversation. Now be seated, please. standing or stand for the call to worship. Like the disciples, we want to please God in our words and actions. Like the disciples, we want to have the right answers and be on the right side. Like the disciples, we sometimes think we know better, that our ways are better. We are the disciples of Jesus Christ. Confessing our sins with honesty and faith. mountaintops and in valleys, in our homes and in our hearts. God knows us better than we know ourselves, and God forgives us when we cannot forgive ourselves. By God's mercy, we are forgiven. By God's mercy, we are made whole. By God's mercy, we are equipped to serve others. Thanks be to God. Amen.
Sin defeated. Please stand in body or in spirit and join us in How Great Is Our God.
It's called the Transfiguration. Do you guys like Transformers? Yeah. So it's like that a little bit, only it's God and Jesus. And so Jesus is standing there, and all of a sudden he starts to glow. And that makes light. And the people who were watching are just blown away because they've never seen such a thing before. So we're going to read that story out of the Bible today. It's a pretty cool one. It's always the Sunday before Lent starts. Do you know what the word, have you heard the word Lent before? Do you know what Lent is? Not really. It means what? Oh, no. That's like sunset, right? This is a church thing, Lent. And this Wednesday night, I'm hoping you'll bring your parents to church at 6 o'clock. Nope, we're gonna have a worship service. It's a nighttime worship service. Those feel differently in here. We're gonna have a nighttime worship service, and we're going to think about how we can grow closer to God, what we can do to experience God in our lives, right? To feel God close to us. So one of the things that we do in churches is we try to do a Lenten discipline. And a Lenten discipline is a 40-day thing, and we have one for you guys. It's like a game. I know, down with the game, right? Okay, so it's like a game. It's like a snake going all the way around. It's a calendar, right? It's a calendar. So you're going to start on the first day. You see where that is? Can you find number 1? Oh, Sarah, sorry. Find number 1. It's here at the bottom. It says Ash Wednesday, right? And then on day 2, it has more words. Are you guys good readers, or are you going to need help with from your parents? All right, so get help from your parents. It says say a special prayer. And day 3 says do a chore without being asked. Day 4 says learn a Bible verse. So I'm hoping that you'll go through these. You know how to read? Good. And you can do it yourself. But I have something else to tell you. They have so we have a committee in our church that wants to help people who live all around our country and all around our world. And sometimes one of the best ways to do that is with money. Now these, right now, are filled with, yeah, they are. They're filled with M&Ms. Yep. But can I tell you something else that's really cool about these M&M containers? Money fits in them. So I want you to go home. You go home and you tell your pastor. You tell your parents, the pastor said I have to eat all the M&Ms by Wednesday. All right? No, today's Sunday. So I want you to eat all the M&Ms by Wednesday, and then on Wednesday, I want you to dig in your couch cushions. I want you to look on the floor in the back seat of your car. I want you to find coins that you can fill this container up with. All right? Now, if you can't find any that way, you can ask your parents for a quarter every day. A quarter fits in there perfectly, which is kind of a cool thing about these. But if they would rather give you a nickel, a dime, or a penny, they can do that too. But fill it up with money, or dollar bills. $100 bills would fit. We're looking forward to those. No, not water. No, not water. Yes, sir. Right, that is exactly the next thing we're going to look at. Look at this up here. And if you follow the trail we get to Easter Sunday, when Jesus is risen, right? So we want you to finish filling these up by then. We'd actually like you to bring them back, if you can, on the day that Jesus rides the donkey into Jerusalem with the palms, on Palm Sunday. But if you aren't here on that Sunday and you want to bring them back on Easter, that's also great. For the youth, there are 40 days of other things that you can do that are more appropriate for you all, maybe, right? Okay, either day, and you know what? You can even bring them in afterwards. That's Good Friday. So this is a day of lots of worship at church. It's a special week that's called Holy Week. All right, we're going to have a prayer, and I'm going to send you with your, what instrument makes this noise? Maracas. With your M&M maracas back to your seat. You can keep beat with the songs when we sing, okay? Dear God, we thank you for these children and for their families that made a priority to be here today. We ask your blessing on them as they go through Lent, and we ask that they, like us, would make it a discipline, a priority to open our hearts to you, that you might let us feel your presence near and you might change us. Watch over and keep them and their families now and always. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. We're going to sing a song now, and I think maybe, is it a song now? So you can use your maracas while you sing. 17, verses 1 through 9. After 6 days, Jesus took with him Peter, James, and John, the brother of James, and led them up a high mountain by themselves. There he was transfigured before them. His face shone like the sun, and his clothes became as white as the light. Just then there appeared before them Moses and Elijah talking with Jesus. Peter said to Jesus, "Lord, it is good for us to be here. If you wish, I'll put up 3 shelters, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." While he was still speaking, a bright cloud covered them, and a voice from the cloud said, "This is my Son, whom I love. With him I am well pleased. Listen to him." When the disciples heard this, they fell face down to the ground, terrified. But Jesus came and touched them. "Get up," he said, "don't be afraid." When they looked up, they saw no one except Jesus. As they were coming down the mountain, Jesus instructed them, "Don't tell anyone what you have seen until the Son of Man has been raised from the dead." May God add his blessing to the reading and hearing of his holy word. Thanks be to God. So in 2012, on July 4th in San Diego, there was an event. Do any of you know what that is? You know what happened on that day? I'm going to tell you. They either witnessed the worst 4th of July fireworks celebration or the absolute best, depending on your position, I suppose. But through a technical malfunction, all the pyrotechnics went off at the same time. All of them. Bob Goff writes about it in his devotional, Live in Grace, Walk in Love. It's the devotional that Frank and I read together every morning. The city where I live, he writes, is known for one of the best fireworks show on the planet. It's no secret either. People from all over fly into San Diego to witness the spectacle. One year, instead of a perfect symphony of pyrotechnics and patriotism over the course of an hour, someone made a mistake and hit the wrong button. Every single firework went off at once. It was all over within 30 seconds. It was 9 o'clock at night, but the sky was as bright as noon for a brief moment as thousands of fireworks all exploded on the decks of the barges. It was awesome. It would be a great once-in-a-lifetime experience. I'd rather, have a little bit longer, but it got me thinking about our reading today. Today is the last Sunday of Epiphany, and Epiphany is known as the season of light, right? The season of light. It is the season of seeing God and Jesus. We read stories about Jesus and we see that he is the Son of God, the one that God has sent. The reading for today ends Epiphany with a great big bang. So much light, as if all the fireworks were ignited at once. And it is awesome. Today is called Transfiguration Sunday. It's always the Sunday before we begin the season of Lent, a season that begins in darkness. We take a turn here on Wednesday, and I want to say something really clearly to you, and I want to invite you clearly. Let me say it that way. We're going to have a service here at 6 o'clock on Wednesday night, an Ash Wednesday service. If you have not ever experienced an Ash Wednesday service, I encourage you to come. If you have gone to one every year, I encourage you to come. If you go hit and miss, make it a priority to come. Starting Lent at Ash Wednesday, I love Lent. I've said that before. I love Lent. And I'm excited to go through this season with you. I think our spiritual lives go better when we participate in worship together. And Ash Wednesday is a powerful service of mortality and darkness, a somber reminder that we don't live forever. And we need God deeply. So I invite you to come to that Ash Wednesday service. Lent begins in darkness, reminding us of our mortality, but how does it end? It ends in Easter, an explosion of life and light, right? Because we always have hope. We know the end of the story. We know the end of the story. So, the word transfiguration is a Greek word. It's actually more familiar to you in Greek than it is in English, because we don't really say transfigured very much in our common, no. What do you think the Greek word is? Metamorphosis. That makes more sense, right? Metamorphosis. All right, so that is a word meaning change. Lent is a season that leads to change. This story is all about change. The definition of metamorphosis is defined as to change or cause to change completely in form or nature. That is the call of the Christian life.